Hello, hello. Hey, sweet people. Welcome to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. Today, I'm not here with Alexia. Today, I am here with one of our students, one of our longtime and most favorite students, Ismael. Ismael, welcome to the show.
Hey, Foster.
How are you doing, Ismael? And where are you coming to us from?
Well, I'm good. I'm coming from Campinas, São Paulo, Brazil.
Yeah, yeah. I think most people know Campinas is in Brazil. Very cool. So, just to give a little bit of context, a little bit of background, I've wanted to have Ismail on the show for a long time. Number one, because he's a great student. Number two, a super interesting person to talk to, and I just enjoy having conversations with you. And number three, you recently sent us a message about one of our episodes, and I wanted to talk a little bit with a little bit more detail about that. Does that sound good to you?
Yes.
Okay. But before we do that, Ismael, can you give our listeners just a little bit of your story, your background with English? I think everyone will already notice that you speak English very, very well, but I think they will be quite surprised at how you arrived to have such an advanced level of English.
Okay. Well, where can I start? Um, well, I started to get interested in English. I think it was around, I don't know, maybe somewhere around high school. Here, well, uh, all of Brazilian listeners maybe certainly already know that, but in Brazil, you start when you are in public schools. You only start studying English when you reach fifth grade.
Hmm. Fifth grade is approximately how many years old?
11. Well, when I was in fifth grade, it's quite some time ago now. Uh, it was 11. Right now, I think it's probably younger, but I'm not sure.
Cool.
But even so, to start learning a language, I think it's a general opinion that's kind of old, depending on your point of view. But anyways, 11 years, and it's like any other subject when you're in school. You like Portuguese or English or English for a American, I mean, and
Yeah, yeah.
arts and science, and there's just subjects you like and subjects you don't. And I when I started, wasn't really very fond of English, and through the years, it started to change very, very slow. So when I was at high school,
Hmm. I think I would say when I was in high school.
yes, when I was in high school, I started to get more interested. I was reading a lot already in books in Portuguese. I liked Sherlock Holmes a lot.
Nice. And you were reading in Portuguese?
Yes, by the time I was reading in Portuguese, and at some point, I discovered Harry Potter books. I was like maybe 13 years, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Can I ask you really quick, Ismail, if you don't mind, how old are you?
I am 30 years old.
Nice. That's what I was thinking. I'm 31, and I think I discovered Harry Potter at approximately the same time as you did.
Yes, and funny thing, I read the books all out of order. I started, I started in the second, then I think I read the fourth, and then I just caught up maybe in the last two or three books. But I I messed up when I started because I didn't have access to. Well, I'm not saying I didn't have access, but I a library, to buy books to read and all. It wasn't part of my life.
Yeah. It was a lot more difficult back then. Like
Yes.
I remember when I believe it was like the second book coming out and Harry Potter was already like a global thing. I had to go to the bookstore and wait in line like to get a copy of Harry Potter. And nowadays I can just immediately have it sent to my Kindle automatically.
Yes, and I found the Harry Potter book in the school library,
Nice.
and I started to read. I liked the story a lot, and I think in the same year I watched the first movie, and boom, instant fan. And well, just to cut the story short a little bit, because well, nothing, nothing very interest happened.
Yeah, we can talk about
Yeah,
all 7 Harry Potter books individually for hours. Yeah.
but from all the 2,000 kids listening to the show that don't remember, in the early 2000s when you had a DVD with a movie. The movie, the disc had extras about the cast and the backstages of the movie production,
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
I and man, I was so fascinating watching the Harry Potter movies and seeing the extras on the DVDs, and
I was so fascinated.
yeah, I was so fascinated, and I started to well back then YouTube was not that huge thing that is today, and I started to look for cast members interview on YouTube just to get to know him a little better. We didn't have
Mhm.
Instagram or huge social medias back then, so you didn't have the chance to get to know your favorite actor or actress easier like it is
Right.
today. So I was on YouTube looking for cast member interviews like David Letterman and Jimmy Kimmel and Conan O'Brien, things like that. And here we finally got to the English part. The problem was we Brazilians that like to do that and did not speak English depended strongly on Brazilian fans that did speak English. So they would subtitle the video for us and upload
Right.
again on YouTube. Problem is there were too much videos to few fans able to to subtitle. I think of a question of
Supply and
days
demand,
exactly,
perhaps.
supply and demand exactly. And I was like, man, there's this recent interview that was released, but there's no subtitles yet. And that kind of frustrated me a little bit. So so I was like, I got to learn that thing, man. And skill isn't helping because um, basically, I don't know how it was for kids in the U.S., but it's common knowledge that education here in Brazil struggles a lot, and there are
Yeah.
those subjects that receive more attention, like Portuguese and math, and I don't know, physics maybe. The others like geography and history and all things like that. It's kind of well, it's kind of harder. Um,
Yeah. I think it's pretty similar in the US, at least in my experience. Like I took Spanish in high school, but there was not much attention given to Spanish. And to be honest, I'm almost embarrassed to say this. I've never taken any sort of class in physics. I went through all of high school, university, graduate school, and I literally know nothing about physics.
Yep, yeah, that's how it is pretty similar indeed. Uh,